Laura Rae, and today I want to share with you my worst makeup looks, some products I won't be repurchasing, some because of price, some because of quality. They're just not up to my standards. And some of them, I've just found things that are just so much better. So I'm going to do two looks for you. I'm actually taking a hit for the team today because I'm doing my worst look and then what I consider to be one of my best. Let's start with primer. I bought the Myrick primer. I heard so many great things on YouTube and Instagram, and so I went and bought it. I was super excited, and you can see I didn't use much of it because I didn't like the way it felt on my skin. Now, for some of you with very dry skin, you might love this. I noticed when I used it that I had a little bit of redness and sort of breakouts from it, and I just didn't feel that my skin looked any better. Even if I had used no primer, I think I would have been better off. I'm not always sold on this idea of primer. I do like some of them, but I find my best primer is just to wear my sunscreen, and that usually gets rid of a lot of the discoloration, helps with my pores. So I sort of found that my sunscreen works great as a primer under makeup. But I just feel like this didn't really blur my skin out. It really didn't give me anything magical, and it was just an unnecessary step. So as I said, I have found my sunscreen works great as a primer. And recently I repurchased a product I used to use, and I'm like, why did I ever stop using it? I actually felt like my skin looked so good that I'm not applying foundation today, and I don't know that I've ever done that, maybe once in the history of my channel. But this is Color Science. This is their Sun Forgettable Total Protection 50 Plus, and it's their Flex. This is beautiful on my skin. Like the CoverGirl, this is one of those where it looks white, you mix your fingers together, the color starts to show up, and then you put it on your skin. I don't like to apply it directly to my skin without rubbing it together first, because the more I rub my skin, the more reactive it is, and the more likely it is to get red. So I find mixing it in my hands first is really important for me. But one of the worst products I ever bought was this from CoverGirl, which is similar to the sunscreen in that you rub the pigments together and put it on. Now, when this first came out, I reviewed it, and I took some flack from people that said it was just perfect for them. And that's how all products are going to be. There's going to be some that work great for some people, and then for others just don't work, depending on where they live, the environment, their own skin type. Now, my skin type is combination. I'm more oily in the T-zone. And what happens when I use this is it collects in the lines here, and also in my forehead lines. And I tried this over so many days using different tools. I tried everything, and none of it worked. Now, I do feel too, after putting this on again, it's been a couple of months since I've even put it back on, I could have benefited from a deeper shade. If you do want to try this, I bought light medium, and that typically works with most products, but you can see how white this looks on my skin. It just really doesn't do the trick. Now, I love that it has bakuchiol in it, but I already get those kinds of products in my skincare, so I really don't care to have them in my foundation. So this was a fail for me. Now, I know the Color Science is a lot more expensive, but it's a sunscreen, and that's going to help with so many other issues. So I will be buying this and not buying this. Another controversial product that I reviewed is the Lancome Serum Concealer. I was so excited to try this because usually when I use a concealer that has some kind of skincare in it, it works great for me. But this was so drying. I really, even with eye cream underneath and all the tricks, it just didn't work for me as the day went on. A lot of these things look great initially, like you might even see in the video and go, wow, that looks great. I don't see what she's talking about. But I have wear tested these products, and I've gone to school and at lunchtime just looked like I had eyes 20 years older. So this just collected in the fine lines. It didn't work for me. I know it's a favorite of many. I've heard many YouTubers rave about it, but it just didn't work for me. However, something more affordable worked for me, and that's the IRL Filter Finish from Revolution. I'm still doing the trick that I feel is better than putting Aquaphor under your eyes. I love the Be Naturals, the Queen Bee Peeper Keeper. So I put this on first and then put the IRL Filter Finish on, and I get a beautiful look. This is so much more affordable. Why would I spend all that money on a concealer when I can have one that's less than half the price and it looks great? I love when I find a great affordable eyeshadow, and I've tried many eyeshadows from Essence. Most of their powders have worked wonderful for me, but this eye tint was just horrible. It was so patchy. It caught in some areas where it was really smooth. In other areas, my lids, you could just see the skin. Now, of course, I could have used a primer underneath, but typically when I use cream shadows, I never have to use a primer. They work great on their own. I have worn this to school, and it was like so embarrassing when I went in the bathroom at lunchtime. That's about the only time I would get to the bathroom. And I saw what a mess the eye makeup was. Now, this is super affordable, but what good is affordable if it doesn't work right? So my pick is the Neutrogena. This is so smooth. Now, they actually call it an eyeshadow primer in one, but I feel all of these that are out, like the Wet n Wild, some of the others that I've tried, work as a primer. You really don't need a primer underneath. This lasts all day, blends beautifully. I bought it in, I think, 3 shades. Today I decided I just wanted to do one, just something really simple. And this is the shade Soft Pearl, and it just sort of brightens up the eye area, and then I could go in with a little bit of bronzer to shape the eye. So simple, so easy. This isn't that much more than the Essence, and what a difference. When Tarte first came out with their tubing mascara, I was super excited to try it. This is the smaller size. I think I also bought a large size of it to make sure it was good or not good. It's great, but this one from e.l.f. is just as good or maybe even better, and it's so much more affordable. So again, this is nothing that anyone would notice any difference and say, wow, your lashes look just off the chain amazing. They pretty much look the same with these two products. So why would I pay more when I can get the same look for so much less? I bought this bronzer from Buxom quite a while ago, and I've really enjoyed it. I like the different shades in it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this product at all, but I have found that there's so many affordable bronzers at the drugstore. I love the L'Oreal Infallible. I rave all the time about the Flower. I wanted to share with you today this palette from Smashbox. I've shown it once before, and I just think it's wonderful because you get a beautiful bronzer that can work great if you want to contour your eyes, contour your face. But look at these beautiful blushes. And this set, the one I got, is Back to Cali, but they had a pink set. But you have everything here. So I paid a little more than what I paid for the Buxom, but I'm getting 4 products all in one. It doesn't take up much space. The powders are finely milled and they just blend so beautifully. So there's nothing wrong with this bronzer at all, but I would say there's so many at the drugstore that you could find that would work great. Or another option would be to buy a palette like this where you can just reach for this. Blush. I bought the Milk Jelly Blush when it first came out, and I really was on the fence. It did last. When I put it on my skin and would go to work, I'd come home, I could still see it. Is it difficult to blend? Not if you get to it right away. This is a product that you can't let dry very long. Did I like it for my lips because it's supposed to be for lips too? Not really. I didn't like the way it looked on my lips. It made them look a little dry as the day went on. It was definitely not moisturizing. So it would give a little stain, but you definitely, if you wanted moisturized lips, would have to put something else on. But over time, I just found I wasn't reaching for this. I was in Sephora the other day with my daughter and I said, oh, there are the jelly blushes. And, I haven't used that in a while. I still feel that after all this time, all the creams, all the different things I try, I still reach for powder. Powder for mature skin can still look great if it's a quality powder. And this one from Smashbox it has such a beautiful look. I like that you can mix a deeper shade and a lighter shade. Sometimes I will not use bronzer or contour and use 2 shades of blush. And this allows me to do that. Now they do have a powder highlighter, and typically I go more for a cream highlighter that sinks into the skin and is not very noticeable. But I don't think this one's noticeable. As it works into my skin and the oils in my skin, it really just blends right in. If you are not a person that likes these kind of products, then I say avoid them. Don't buy them just because they're trending or everybody's talking about it. Powder blush has come a long ways and it looks great on mature skin. Today I'm putting on this one from Kokie. This is their Soft Glow highlighter, and there's really nothing wrong with this. I'm just getting away from this and going to whatever looks the most natural and doesn't show on my skin. And this is a beautiful product, but you can see there's a lot of glow going on here. Now, the one in the Smashbox is pretty glowy, but it seems to sink in the skin, and I like the way it looks so much better. I did not give this a good review, and some people were mad at me for that. And again, everything works different for different people. When this Color Fetish lip stain first came out, I was so happy because I love a couple of the ones from Benefit. Benefit's recently come out with one that wasn't long lasting either. The original stains that Benefit came out with really worked for me and were so long lasting, so I thought this would be a great dupe or replacement. But what happened is one day I wore it to school, and again I go into the bathroom and look at my makeup, and it was all in the lines of my lips. I don't know if I put too much product on or not. I tried it again with less product, but it just seemed to wear off. I would say it just didn't make my lips look very good. They just looked older. They just didn't look pretty at all. So I find that I love sticking with lipstick for most of the time. The Revlon lipstick looks so beautiful. This is one of the shades I've shared recently that's new, Whiskey Business. That is a beautiful nude. I like that it has so much color in it. I feel like if I'm going to wear a nude, this is the kind of nude I want to wear. And it just makes my lips feel very moisturized. Some of these stains can be very drying on the lips, and they don't work that great for mature lips. And I definitely have mature lips. I put on some kind of balm or lip mask while I'm doing my makeup, and today I used the one from Laneige, the Gummy Bear. But I find that lipstick works great for my mature lips, and some of these stains are a little dicey. I've gotten away from these rough pencil lip liners. I used to love these from LA Girl. This is their Perfect Precision. These are really pretty great. I have bought many MAC pencils, and I felt like these were just as good and so much more affordable. But I am going now with something like this from Maybelline, their new lifter liner. This is just creamy, glides across the lips. The older I get, the more anything tugging on my skin bothers me. And these definitely tug as you're putting them on. Sometimes I fill in my entire lip with a lip pencil, and these can be a little rough. So now I go with a lip pencil that's smooth and doesn't tug on the lips. This eyebrow pencil from Anastasia is just so famous. Everybody loves it, and I see why. They offer such a range of shades. If your brows are sort of a different shade, not the typical light brown, dark brown, taupe, blonde, and you need, maybe you have red hair or just a different shade that doesn't match with those, this line is excellent because there's just tons of pencils in these half shades and everything that you can find to match. But I have found for me, this NYX pencil works just as great, maybe even a little better. I find the Anastasia is a bit dry. This isn't super creamy, but I feel like this glides a little bit easier than the Anastasia. And it's so much more affordable. Brow pencils we go through so quickly. I'm always filling in my brows daily. So I use up pencils quite often, much more than other makeup products. So I feel this is a great way to save money, is to go with one of these pencils like the NYX that has that micro tip that's just as great as the Anastasia. I really love this Laura Geller eyeliner. When I bought it, it glides across the eyes. It's really nice. I like the grip that it has here. I know the LA Girl has that same grip. It actually looks very similar, the packaging. Now this shade is Indigo Night, so it's sort of a bluish black. But what I found is that Sephora has some amazing eye pencils. I've fallen in love with theirs. They even have some shades that seem like Urban Decay kind of shades, unique shades, not just your typical brown, black, and blue. Now this blue is Navy Shimmer. I just love this shade. I've fallen in love with these liners. I've gone back to buy more of them. So when I'm choosing a liner, one of my favorites and a way for me to save some money is to buy Sephora. I did want to say the foundation I was going to wear today that so many of you have complimented me on is the Estee Lauder. This is their Futurist Skin Tint Serum. It is beautiful, and the shade I bought is 3 and 2 Wheat. It is wonderful. It does have a 20 sunscreen in it, but I just felt like the Color Science did enough, that I got enough coverage, and I really didn't need it, so I didn't use it in the video. But that's usually my go-to if I'm going out and I want my best skin that I can get. I really love that foundation. So those are the products I won't be buying, and some I will buy again. Let me know in the comments if you've tried anything recently that you feel you will never buy again, that you were disappointed with. Another one I'm thinking of, I didn't put in the video, is the CoverGirl. The new, it looks like a marker, like a magic marker, and it's a lip stain. Oh my gosh, that was patchy. The same thing with the Milani, just it was in all my lines of my lips. It looked terrible on me. So let me know if there's any that have really been a fail, or if you bought something that you were just over the moon for, that you thought was a great product. Remember, everything's in the description of the video. If you want to look at the products, just click the More button. Everything is listed there, and I appreciate you shopping those links. You are the supporters of my channel, and I love you all so much. I hope you'll have a great week, and make sure to stop by and see me again soon.